going on, y'all? This is Mike Bennett and Mike Bacon coming at you live and direct with another episode of the Apple Advisory, one of our favorite shows, and quite frankly, it's not purposely, but we do a lot of shitting on what Apple does. And it's okay, it's all good. It's not intentional. It's just like we do with all our other shows, man. We try to just give some honest criticism where it's warranted, and we give praise to where it's warranted as well to these companies who are doing the thing in the IT industry. So like I said, today we have the Apple Advisor going on. How you doing today, Mike?
I'm good, man. It's another good day in the neighborhood. Ain't nobody shooting right now, so everything gravy, baby.
Yeah, man.
It's wild.
Yeah, I know. It'd be like, especially it's been a couple of times. I'm down here in the A, so I mean it ain't as bad, but I think Baltimore. I'm from Baltimore, everybody, so I know what it's like. We've had some record years where it's like, I think in the first 3 months, it was like 100 people. There's something where somebody was dying every day. That's crazy, but that's neither here nor there, man. But we're in episode 11, and so we're going to jump straight into the topics. What we're going to be discussing with you all today are 3 solid topics we came across on the internets and doing our research. And the first one says the first 4 months of Apple TV has been a nightmare, and I think it's I see why. We'll jump into it. Once we get started. But secondly, it says Apple is considering letting users change default email browser and music apps in iOS, which I think is a brilliant idea, although I think it's against their will, and we'll jump into that as well. Mm-hmm. And lastly, we have Apple Maps expands 3D Street View feature to Boston, Philadelphia, and Washington, D.C. So I think this is, again, Apple trying to be a little bit more expansive on their end. Where we're going to jump into that. But let's check out this first one, man. It says the first 4 months of Apple TV Plus have been a nightmare. Now, for those who don't know, Apple TV Plus is a streaming service that Apple had launched back in November. And, just like any streaming service, let's scale it back. I think that Netflix has kind of been the one that blazed the trail, that kind of made it like that hot thing to do the streaming services. And, of course, Netflix is Netflix, right? They're giving out $50 million deals to people for shows. So, I mean, it's no surprise that, they're doing big things over there. But I think Apple TV, they try to follow suit and, expand their brand, although they already are $1 trillion company worth more than all the energy in the United States, trying to expand their brand. And it's been a complete wreck from, everything. And so there have been several shows that have been on the table that's been canceled that people were looking forward to. Several shows that are running right now that are not doing well, and several movies that people were looking forward to that it's gone through the ringer and are not being released. So looking in the article, it's talking about how, based on some of the projections that they had, it started off performing, or what they would say, well, or following the timeline, and they're meeting their goals that the exec wanted to happen, or what they set out to do. But it's just, for it to be a streaming service, there are certain things that has to connect that Apple TV hasn't really done a good job connecting on. So, I'll say this. For one, being that I have an iPhone, I really didn't know too much about the Apple TV until it just came out, which to me, being that I have it's not that I'll put it like this. If you use YouTube does an excellent job making sure that every time you open the app, they promoting YouTube Premium to you. You know what I mean? Every time. It's like twice, sometimes when you even get to the video. I don't remember getting anything like that from Apple. And not that I think that type of guerrilla style advertising is a good thing per se, but what I'm getting at is I just really didn't feel like there was a good amount of promotion behind it, which I think when you come in, for Apple to be as big of a company as it is, I don't think anybody that uses an Apple phone, any type of Apple technology, should be out of the loop with Apple TV and what they got going on. And then secondly, and I mean, again, I'm not just trying to go in, but it is what it is. It's several different movies that were supposed to be coming out. They have like iconic actors in it that you know for a fact, just from the write up, they will be excellent, like The Banker. But
Still waiting for The Banker.
Right, we're still waiting for it based on all this other stuff, this fugazery that's been going on. That The Banker was supposed to be coming out on Apple TV and it was supposed to be like something a big hit for them, but for whatever reason between the family and them, I guess they're not working things out. That's been put on hold. So I would say it's safe to say that this new project that they're working on, they're definitely struggling with it. And I'm not really for sure. I mean, of course, I think they will turn it around somehow because they just have enough money to make it happen. But I just don't see what the next 3 months holds for Apple TV. What do you think, Mike?
I mean, they are just trying to jump into this business so they can, diversify their bonds, basically. Yeah, I mean, they have the Apple TV itself, and they're trying to find a way to, keep some of the money in house because else they'll just become a over the top TV box type thing. I mean, where they sell the Apple TV box and all it really is just a resource so you can watch Netflix and Amazon. So like, they want to be a part of that money right there. Like that's a immediate advertising resources, television. So with this Apple TV Plus thing, they trying to really, jump in the business. But I mean, they're not entertainment first. They're not really an entertainment company. They don't really know the first thing about entertainment for real. And I feel like this Apple TV Plus push is way different than the iTunes push that they did back in the day. And I mean, it's even different than the Apple Music push that they do now with streaming Apple Music for real. I mean, it's with iTunes and with Apple Music, you get 30 million songs. You get a whole plethora of stuff that you got, access to that you can listen to. Apple TV Plus, for one, I can't even say I use it, so I don't know for sure. I got an iPhone. I got a MacBook. When I actually do accidentally open up the app, yeah, I'll see the advertisement there. Like, when you open it up, they like, subscribe to Apple iTunes, Apple TV Music Plus or whatever the fuck it is. Like, they say, like that's what they say. That's when you open that. But if you don't open it, you don't see no advertisement at all. You don't even really care, and they don't incentivize you to really do it because none of the shows really pull me in. The only two things that even pull me in are the two things that we talked about, and that was The Banker because of the actors. I mean, that story that it's about, and then the Oprah Winfrey thing, and that's because of the story that it's about. It's supposed to be a documentary about potentially Russell Simmons. So like, well, got people in authority that abuse their power on women and whatnot. So like those two things.
I ain't really looking forward to but go ahead.
Yeah, I'm interested because I gotta know. I gotta make sure I stay clear of these situations. I don't want to get caught up in myself. I mean, so I gotta know what happened, so I know how to steer clear. I mean, but like those are the only two things that I'm really even interested in. If I could watch them anywhere else, I'm going to watch them somewhere else. I mean, if it means me finding it somewhere, I'm gonna find it somewhere. I mean, I'm gonna get it that way for real. I mean, and they really don't have anything that's like incentivizing you to be there. And I mean, they're definitely not. They're not playing the game like the rest of these companies are. Amazon and Netflix, they went and got back catalogs of all the top shows everywhere. Yeah, I mean, like if you wanted to watch Twin Peaks, but you never saw Twin Peaks, you could watch it on Amazon. Yeah, I mean, if you liked any of these old shows that just happened to, you missed it when it was on television, you get to watch it now. I don't know if Apple TV gives you those options. Like I know they got a couple of like exclusive content that's coming out, these shows that they have listed here. But then everything else, I think, is just like a partnership with some other company that's providing the service. I mean, like it's another channel that they got partnership with. Like if you watch ESPN or something like that, it's just partnered with that. I mean, like it allows you to pay Apple TV and then you get like some of these other channels pulled in with it. But it's not really like what you want per se. It's just, maybe I'll get into it one day. Whereas Amazon Prime and Netflix, they got stuff that you want to watch. I mean, they've actually taken the time, particularly Netflix, because they had the whole market corner for a while with the whole DVD shipping stuff. They were mailing DVDs to people's houses, so they know what people want to watch. And then Amazon Prime is kind of the same thing. People have been buying DVDs and Blu-rays off of Amazon Prime, Amazon itself, for a while, so they know what people want to watch.
And they flip the script.
Yeah,
because I ain't even peep. Because I get this is another thing, and I ain't gonna cut you off, Jay. I felt this. I once with Amazon, what's so brilliant about what they did is that they integrated their streaming service into the fee that someone already is paying for the shipping service they have with Amazon, like with Amazon Prime. So like that's where it. That's an excellent way of not necessarily pushing it on someone. But like making it as a service available. It's like they made it why Amazon Prime hit and why it was a brilliant move for them is because they added it as a bonus onto what people were doing already. You see what I'm saying?
I remember where. No, go ahead.
No, yeah, I was but yeah, that's pretty much what I was saying with that is that they made it like that. But yeah.
I was just saying, like I remember when it first dropped out for real, like they didn't have a full-on video streaming service. It was like you had Amazon Prime, and if you was a Prime member and you happened to have bought a DVD or Blu-ray from Amazon directly, they would give you access to the digital copy. Like that was like original Amazon Prime Video. It was just like, all right, I bought this DVD. I remember I bought like 4 or 5 DVDs for my father or something, and it was going. This is before 2-day shipping. This is when it was like possibly 7-day shipping. When you just get you get it when you get it. And it was like in the meantime, while you wait for it, instead of waiting for that DVD, you can just watch that now because you bought that directly. I mean, and that was like the level of Amazon Prime until people started actually enjoying Prime streaming, and they were like, well, we need to really push this and make this a full-on thing. But that's where they sort of started. They at least had some type of basis for getting into the business. They understood what people wanted to watch and how they wanted to watch, and then they sort of jumped into it. Whereas Apple really don't have no clue what you want to watch. I mean, they pride themselves being that privacy company. They don't know anything about you for real. I mean, so like they don't know what people are entertained by. They don't know what their customer, their fan base really likes to watch. I mean, so it's kind of hard for them to really jump into it. They kind of just jumping into it because they know it's a lucrative business.
They're not knowing how to capitalize.
Yeah, and they got the money to throw at trying to figure it out.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, they jump in and just whatever's not working when you throw. Yeah, that's the business model. You nailed it, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. We got billions over here. We may lose, but we gonna keep fighting. Right. And I mean that's where they at with it right now. And I don't know. I know the stuff that they got already listed, like I said, the banker is something that really isn't theirs. They just sort of bought it, and like there's a couple other things that aren't really theirs. They just putting money into it for exclusivity rights to be able to be the first ones to be with it. But I mean, they don't know. So I really couldn't care less whether Apple TV dies out and then Amazon or Netflix picks up the banker and all the other things and just let them ride with it because that's their business. I mean, some companies just ain't meant to be in every damn business, and Apple, that's one of them companies that just probably shouldn't even be in this business.
I think the only thing, like if they did a power move and bought Disney or something like that, then I think it'd have been, whatever. But I think what's crazy, although Disney ain't no $1 trillion industry, their power they have is that I don't think it's something that can really be bought now. Like even though they ain't grossing as much as like an Apple, but it's like who really gonna like who's really gonna buy Disney? You know what I mean? But whatever. I think that's the only thing that can really save it, man. But yeah, that's let's
If
jump into the.
anybody buys Disney, it will be Apple. That's about it, though. Like, ain't nobody else got it. On Apple, the only company that can do it.
Probably. So yeah. And I don't really know. I feel like if Google tried to buy Disney, it just wouldn't hit the same. But
yeah, it would. It would.
Yeah, but yeah. Let's jump into the next topic, man. It says here, Apple is considering letting users change default email, browser, music, and apps, music, browser, email. I didn't say that right. Basically, letting you change the default like services and stuff like that on the app. So if for people that don't have an Apple device, like the default search thing is Safari. I just think that sucks because Safari is just not Safari is not a Google Chrome and it's not even a Firefox. You know what I mean? But the issue is that they're saying that well, I don't know if they probably are not positioning it as an issue, but maybe there is some tracking that they have going on where they see who's using the apps and stuff like that. And I know for a fact that once I got, I'm not the only one in the world that once I got my first iPhone coming from the Android universe, I went ahead and downloaded all of my Google apps that I could possibly download to use on the app. And I think what they're probably noticing that trend that it's not a lot of usage going in. You know how when you start using stuff, they give you that little prompt saying what you like to send, market, data and stuff like that, so we can do research, whatever. And I always say no. So I would assume that there's a lot of people that's probably saying no to these things now. So you got people that's switching and downloading, and they said they're planning on making this pop. They haven't really made it like a thing yet, but they said it potentially could be a thing by the time iOS 14 comes out later this year. And I think that'd be a good move for them because I think they already have enough money, whereas though that happening they won't really lose anything. And again, we're talking about like the utilities, right? I mean, Apple. I don't use Apple Music. I'm more of a Tidal, and the next in line will be Spotify. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's I don't really see that as.
How you like Tidal?
I think Tidal is pretty solid, man. Just because, well, for one, it's supporting I think a better business model. What people don't know is that there was some statistics that came out a while back that shows that artists get paid more when you stream on Tidal. So I mean,
that was like the number one. That was the number one reason why they pushed that joint out. And I remember the signing day that they had for all that, where they had all these artists out on stage and everybody was signing their name to it. Like, yeah, we own it. We partially own it. It was like Alicia Keys, Jay-Z, I mean, Kanye, all these artists was out there like, yo, we taking a part of this. I mean, and push was to be like it was like the artist invested streaming platform.
Correct. Yeah, that's what it is. Yep. So, I mean, that's why that would be one of the primary components, as well as I just think that the content that they provide on there outside of this music, like they have like videos that they share, like interviews, documentaries. They kind of in touch with, like, I know one of the things I check out on there is Drink Champs with Noriega, and I forgot the other guy's name, but that was something that started on, I think, like IG, but then they picked it up and they do their streaming or like their shows on Tidal now. So that's but that's why I use Tidal over that. So this is just in my one case is just another reason as to why I think with Apple moving forward, they won't really. In this tech cold war that we see this happening, I think that a lot of the companies are getting hip to that the users are going to use the applications that they love the most, regardless. Yeah. So by making that available, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, like part of this is the reason is they getting sued for it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, of course.
There's antitrust. Yeah, I mean, there's them having too much power and capitalizing on that power that's pushing other companies out. Particular in this case, Spotify. Spotify is complaining about Apple Music having too much authority on the App Store and pushing it so that it's no point for people to really have Spotify, they can just go with Apple Music. And you know, Spotify's arguments are things like this exact thing where you can't choose another default music app, and you can't choose another browser, you can't choose another email app default. Like, you can have those on your phone, you can install the apps, but they won't be default. If somebody randomly sends you a link, by default it'll jump to Safari. If you happen to, I don't know how you, if you click like an email link and it tells you, you know, you click the email link and it opens up the email app, it's immediately opening up Apple's mail app. You don't have a choice to go to tell it, hey, go to Gmail.
You got to copy that joint.
Yeah, you got to copy it over, and then you got to manually open up the Gmail app, and that puts them in a compromising position where it's like y'all are forcing competition out. Y'all are keeping competition out. So either, I don't really know how far this court case is actually going, but either they're being forced to do it now before they get sued, or if the court case hasn't even really taken on yet, they're trying to do it so that when, you know, Spotify has their argument in court, they'd be like, no, you can install any app you want. I don't know nothing about that. I ain't heard about antitrust. I mean, we've been allowing this since iOS 14. I mean,
and iOS 14 has been playing for 5 years.
Yeah, exactly. So, we've been playing in it forever. I mean, we wouldn't do this to Spotify. We love Spotify. Yeah, I mean, that's their whole argument all the time. I mean, they already knew this was coming about. They knew this was coming about, because this is the same thing that happened with Microsoft when Microsoft had the top, and they had the top operating system, and on that top operating system, you was only able to use Internet Explorer. I mean, so like, they understood that this model was going to happen. They were just like, we're going to keep running with this until they say something.
Until they say
something, we got to do what we got to do. I mean, that's most business, man. They just be like, yo, as long as they ain't say it's illegal, run with it. I mean,
you know what I mean? Until I get caught, I'm going to keep doing it.
I mean, like, this is questionable, but is it illegal?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just their move. That's a lot of their moves, for real.
Yeah, that's how they got to the top. Yeah, that's what I was sitting there thinking to myself. I was thinking to myself, man, like, although I can see Spotify and other companies that will probably jump into the lawsuit, I can kind of see that plight, right? Like, as a form of what they call it, monopoly or racketeering. I don't know the lawful term for it, but it's like, I mean, Apple, although they've done it in a what's the word I can use for it? They've built their platform, right? They've built their brand up in their platform where it's kind of like, you know, it's my platform, so I can kind of do what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I see it from that point. I see it from that point of view as well. So
they put a lot of regulations on their operating system, from like the way people can use it to the way the developers can develop on it. And that's been straight off the top. Like, if you're gonna hop in our garden, in our ecosystem, then you damn sure gonna play by our rules. They ain't gonna allow you to pick that apple, bro. Like, if it was Apple running the Adam and Eve planet, they'd have chopped Adam's hand off before they allowed him to take that daggone apple. I mean, that's just because that's how they do. I mean, they won't allow you to just jump in their garden and do whatever they want you to do. You got to play by their rules. Like, even if you want to be a developer on iOS, you got paid at $99 a year. I mean, they make sure that entry fee is guarded. Like, the gate is guarded.
Got handle at the gate. Like, yo, ain't nobody come by way except for. But yeah, I mean, you know, it's interesting to see what happens, man. I mean, I think that they, like I said, they're going to open up. They're going to open it up, and really at this point, they ain't going to hurt from it because they already a $1 trillion company. So
already $1 trillion company, and Apple Music is not a big business for them right now. Like, I mean, it's business, but they ain't what's making them the most money. So
they probably making more money off of $50,000 laptops. They making off of Apple Music. But yeah, man,
$100 iPhones that they sell for $1,400.
Right. But let's jump into this last topic, man. It says Apple Music expands 3D Street View feature to Boston, Philly, and DC. So When I seen this, I automatically was thinking again them trying to spread themselves wide, right? Like we already know that when it comes to the map game, Google runs the world, man. They even run Mars.
Yeah.
So
basically.
you know what I mean. You know what I mean. We already see, and I think that with what I find interesting too about this is, in a way, it opens it up for whenever you're dealing with like the 3D landscape and stuff like that, being like that, be it that's put into an application, is all different types of things that all the type of worlds that you can open up to that, whether it be like the VR world, you know, AR world, even some marketing and stuff like that. So, I mean, I think it's interesting what they're trying to do here. At the same time, I just don't think it's going to hit as hard as what's already there because, again, I think it's called look around. They're testing it out. I don't know what the functionalities would it be would it be different from would they be offering something different than what you were getting like a Google?
I just happen to look on. I haven't used Apple Maps much at all because I always use Google Maps, and
it's another thing. My bad. Because when I do, it's just like with the previous article. When I got the app, when I got my phone, I downloaded Google Maps.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't fool with the Apple Maps. I think it's whack, man. I tried it once or twice. Like I'm just used to the whole Google feeling. Like when you're using the app, they give you some time to turn. It seems like with the Apple Maps, like they don't tell you like the turn is coming until like the turn is actually coming. I don't like that's why I'm fool with it.
Yeah, I haven't used it for navigation yet. Yeah, like when I was using it, I was definitely not going anywhere. Yeah, like I was sitting there, just happened to be looking through it on the phone. I was in Facebook and I found a place that I wanted to go to, and I clicked on it, and it immediately pushed me to Apple Maps, so I could see where the location was, and like I mean, it's the basics. It's basically the same thing as what they do with their operating system and with their phone. It's like it's the same experience that you're gonna get anywhere else. It's just their take on it, and I mean, it's pretty clean because Google Maps, you know, when they got their Street View stuff, a lot of this stuff just be so far ahead of the future that you just be amazed by it. But then, you know, if you take a developer to critique on it, you'd be like, yeah, they could have cleaned that up a little bit. Yeah. I mean, some of it still look like it's kind of like beta-ish. Yeah, I mean, but it's just like, yo, it's 10 years ahead of the future, so it don't really matter how beta it should look. It's the future.
Ain't nobody else got it. So
yeah,
I
mean, but like with Apple, what they get to do is look at Street View, look at Google Maps, and be like, all right, we like all these features, but we want it to be a little bit cleaner, and we want it to move a little bit smoother. And that's basically what it does. Like when I was looking at the maps, I mean, they did the 3D view. I don't think I did actual Street View, but I just started flying around because they scan whole cities, so you can see like a 3D rendering of a city. I mean, all the little towers, all the skyscrapers that they got into it, all the little buildings and whatnot. You can sort of scan and fly around through it. And I mean, and it loads in clean and looks pretty and all that stuff, which it's the subtle differences that make it different now. Like I said, the actual usability of it, like if you actually on the road and trying to use that thing to navigate somewhere, I don't know how good that is. I ain't gonna say that it's just as good as Apple as Google Maps, because even when Google Maps came out, I mean, even when Apple Maps first came out, they was like, yeah, I mean, it's cool that they came out, but Google Maps has like 400 years worth of map documentation. Yeah, I mean, like map information, 400 years worth of information about how maps work. Yeah, I mean, like about locations of things, where things used to be, where things are going at now, like the terrain of the maps, like the city layouts, all that. Like they got so much information. I mean, like it
Google,
don't,
man.
It's like whatever. Go ahead, start a map service. Yeah, I mean, Apple needs to start one because they just need, because somebody else got to compete. Yeah, I mean, because ain't nobody map question anything. Ain't nobody been map
nobody.
question nothing for like 15 years.
Yeah, map question dead. I don't.
Yeah.
If I go there and it's one of them joints that redirected to a bunch of ad sites. That's what it is.
I remember printing out app like map question directions. Like I ain't had to do that with Google Maps. I don't think ever, for real. I don't remember actually ever printing out a Google Map direction, but I remember the map question joints. I mean, and like nobody's using them right now because MapQuest is basically, I mean, I think they still around. I ain't gonna say they did, but I mean, they on their
service is obsolete now. Yeah, like why do I need to print this joint out when I have a joint telling me where to go, to showing me on the map and showing me what the map actually looks like? Like what do you need?
Exactly. You know? on these mobile phones. I mean, right. Look at it and be like, all right, go this way. I mean, like even with the assistant, like, because they did come out with a feature in the assistant that just be like, all right, turn left. I mean, so like you can have your headset on, keep your phone in your back pocket, and it's tracking you, and you walking around. You'd be like, all right, turn left and such. Matter of fact, I remember doing that when I was in DC. I mean, trying to look for a location. I got the maps in my ear. I'm still listening to music. I'm not looking at the phone. I mean, I'm just walking about, and assistant is telling you because it maps, it tracks you based on your walking versus driving, and it's just like, you know, walk down this way, make 40 yards down this way, turn to left. I mean, once you get to it, be like, turn left now.
In a few steps, take a left.
Exactly. I mean, and it's just talking in your ear like your homeboy telling you directions, like, yo, go over here. Like, that type of stuff is the stuff that Apple still has to work on. I mean, so in order for them to even work on that stuff, they got to get stuff like this corrected already. So like 3D Street View, they got to have a Street View like layout so that they can better understand how somebody is walking around. I mean, so I mean, it's I feel like it's good for them to be doing it. It's not going to rush people to start using it.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah.
I mean, it's not the people that's going to use it are the same people that's using Internet Explorer. I mean, it's just the people that don't know better and they go to default options. Yeah,
or your fanatics, man, which are very few and far between. You have your
you gotta be a real fan if you like Apple Maps. Yeah, I mean, you gotta be a diehard. Like, yo, I don't even care. I got money in Apple.
Got some shares in Apple Maps, man.
I don't even care if they take me there or not. Yeah, I mean, I ain't trying to go nowhere. I just wanted to use Apple Maps.
Yeah, that's right.
Why are you late for the meeting, Apple Maps? But I mean, that's just what it is. So
man, they falling short with the I didn't even know that stat, bro. That Google has about 400 plus years of map
data. Yeah, I mean, and that's like utilities and stuff. That's like, yo, how are power plant lines laid, and like how telecommunication lines laid out. I mean, they got stuff that, I mean, because other people can program into it too. So like, that's another thing. They got like a map API. Like, I don't know if Apple gonna have a map API where other people can program their own type of maps into it.
Man, that joint, if it is, that joint young. I know it don't. It don't hit the same as the Google Map API. It don't. You got whole apps that has been established and made millions of dollars.
Yeah,
that API.
Just off the just off Google Maps exists and other apps getting money off of. I mean, imagine Uber and Lyft without Google Maps.
Right.
I mean, they needed those to exist in order for Uber and Lyft to exist. So I mean, it's one of those things. It's going for Apple to get up there. It's going to be a while, but they got something for the people that need something.
For fanatics out there.
Yeah, I mean.
But I mean, yeah, that's it. That's all we got for y'all, man. I mean, I mean, it's typical Apple stuff, man. I mean, it's as much as we talk crazy about what's going on with Apple, I always find some comedic relief out of what's going on over there, man. Because it just seems like somehow, some way, like they with all the stuff we try to identify that they doing this crazy over there, they $1 trillion, man. They're doing something, man. Right. And this is, I think Apple is a good representation. Not, because I don't think this is a hard and fast truth, but they are a good representation of all publicity is good publicity. You know what I mean? Like whether it be a bad thing or a good thing, they capitalize, man. So hey, they doing something right.
Yeah,
but,
they know how to corner market, man.
Yeah, that's what it is. But man, they just need to thank Steve Jobs, man. The brilliant Steve Jobs. That's what it is.
Yeah, because it's really him, yo. It's the ghost of Steve Jobs.
That's what spirit of Steve Jobs lives on, man. But that's all we got for y'all today with the Apple Advisory, man. I want you all to continue to follow us, man. Like, comment, subscribe to the social media channels that you find us on. I don't think there's anything else in the world named Apple Advisory. If it is, they're not us, and they ain't doing it like us. So make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe to where you can find us at on the podcast channels. We said them before on the Google Musics and your Apple Music, all the stuff like that. We thanks to my good co-host here, he set all that stuff up. So you can find us on all of the main. I think what's the next one? Mixer. Yeah, Mixer.
Yeah. Twitch.
Yeah,
but the main two is the YouTube and the Facebook.
So check us out there, man. And that's pretty much what we got for y'all. You got anything, Mike?
Nah, man. Just go ahead and comment, like, share, subscribe, and be ready for more.
That's all we got for y'all, man. Again, this is Mike Bennett and Mike Baker with the Apple Advisory signing out. Peace.
Peace.